These days, semi-automatic pistols have taken over the firearms world. However, there are still many shooters who prefer to use revolvers. Revolvers have been around for over 2 centuries. They can have certain benefits over semi-automatic pistols. Revolvers tend to be more accurate because of their fixed barrels, and since they have fewer moving parts, they are inherently more reliable as well. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about the 7 best revolvers in the world. Number 7. Smith & Wesson Model 19. Smith & Wesson has a long history of making revolvers in the US, and one of their most iconic creations was the Model 19. The Model 19 long remained a favorite of law enforcement and has seen a lot of use with police forces in the US. The Model 19 was one of the first police revolvers to be chambered in the .357 Magnum caliber. It was developed in the late 1950s in collaboration with lawman and legendary gun shooter Bill Jordan. This revolver had a 5-round capacity and a double-action, single-action trigger. It came in multiple barrel configurations, including a 2.5-inch, 4.5-inch, and 6-inch barrel. It was also introduced in various finishes and grip patterns over the years. In 1971, the Model 66 was also released, which was a variant of the Model 19. Though both these revolvers were discontinued for a while, Smith & Wesson reintroduced them recently. The Model 66 was reintroduced in 2014, and more recently, in 2018, Smith & Wesson reintroduced the Model 19 Classic, which had the same aesthetics as the original Model 19 with slight improvements. The newer Model 19 and 66 are offered with multiple sight options, and you can get them with modern fiber optic sights as well. Moreover, they have rounded grip tangs, which allow you to install a wider variety of grips. Most importantly, the newer models have spring-loaded firing pins instead of the more vulnerable, exposed firing pins on the older model. Overall, the Smith & Wesson Model 19 and 66 are excellent all-around revolvers with a timeless design that offers unbeatable reliability and accuracy. Number 6. Ruger LCR. If you're looking for a small, snub-nosed revolver that is perfect for concealed carry, the Ruger LCR is one of the best options on the market. The LCR is available in multiple calibers, including .38 Special, .357 Magnum, 9mm, 22 LR, 22 WMR, and .327 Fed Mag. However, the .357 Magnum and 9mm variants are the most popular and ideal for concealed carry. The original LCRs were double action only. However, the LCR X is offered with an external hammer, which allows shooters to fire in single action as well. The original LCRs came with an aluminum frame. However, later on, with Ruger LCR X, the frame was made from steel and had a matte finish. This revolver has a 1.87-inch barrel and comes with a polymer grip. Overall, the size of the Ruger LCR is very compact. It is about 6.5 inches in length and 4.5 inches in height, making it an excellent pocket revolver. Moreover, with the .357 Magnum caliber, it offers a lot of firepower in a small package. As far as the sights are concerned, the LCR has a pretty basic set. It has a react both sight with a fixed white post for a front sight. At short distances this revolver is designed to be used, these sights are more than capable. One of the best things about the Ruger LCR is its trigger. The LCR comes with a friction-reducing cam trigger, which significantly decreases trigger stacking and allows for a very smooth trigger pull, even in double action. Of course, you can also shoot the gun in single action for a much lighter and shorter trigger pull. However, in a defensive situation, you are most likely to shoot double action. So, the Ruger LCR is the best option for a compact concealed carry revolver. There are other good options on the market, like the Smith & Wesson J-frame. However, I believe the LCR's superior trigger sets it apart from the competition. Number 5. Smith & Wesson M&P R8. The Smith & Wesson M&P R8 is perhaps the most tactical and practical revolver out there. The story behind this revolver is that SWAT teams needed a revolver to use with riot shields, since semi-auto pistols had a chance of malfunctioning when held close to the shield. The reciprocating slide could get caught up on the shield, or the shield may prevent the pistol from cycling completely. Therefore, Smith & Wesson came up with the M&P TR8 tactical revolver. This revolver is chambered in .357 Magnum and has an impressive 8-shot capacity, giving it a lot of firepower. Moreover, this revolver comes with a Picatinny rail under the barrel to mount lights, and you can mount an additional rail on top to run optics. The R8 uses the Smith & Wesson end frame, which has a scandium alloy construction, allowing it to be lightweight and super strong. It has a 5-inch barrel and comes with a synthetic grip. The R8 has a really good single-action, double-action trigger, and it is very easy to control with the large trigger. Smith & Wesson later also came out with the performance-centered TR-8, which was the same pistol with a performance-centered trigger, removable rails, and a brass bead front sight as opposed to a simple white dot sight on the M&P R8. Overall, if you are looking for a tactical revolver that is ideal for home defense and packs a lot of firepower, the Smith & Wesson R8 is the way to go. Number 4. Magnum Research BFR. Next up, we have the Magnum Research BFR. The BFR stands for Biggest, Finest Revolver, which is somewhat a cheesy name, but the BFR lives up to it. This revolver has a classic design and uses a single-action-only frame with a traditional loading gate. The BFR is available in a wide range of calibers, from large powerhouse loads like 30-30 and 45-70 to more common calibers like 44 Magnum and 357 Magnum. In all calibers, the BFR has a 5-round capacity. It is an excellent revolver for hunting, and it comes in various barrel lengths between 5 and 12.75 inches depending on the caliber. The BFR has a high-quality, precision-grade barrel, which makes it a very accurate long-range revolver. You can also easily mount a scope on this revolver to get those longer shots. With its single-action-only trigger, this revolver is very accurate. The trigger pull is also quite light and crisp, perfect for revolver hunting and long-range shooting. Overall, if you are looking for a large-caliber revolver for hunting, the Magnum Research BFR is a great option. Number 3. Colt Python. The Colt Python is easily one of the most iconic, aesthetic, and in the opinion of many, the best revolver ever made. It has been featured in several iconic movies and video games, and is one of my personal favorites. The Colt Python was first introduced in 1955. It was chambered in .357 Magnum and had a 6-round cylinder. Many writers and firearm experts at the time called the Colt Python the finest revolver ever made. Colt continued production of the Python until 1999 when it was discontinued. However, Colt reintroduced the Python in 2020 with 4.25-inch or 6-inch barrels and released a 3-inch barrel version earlier this year as well. As far as the trigger is concerned, the original Colt Pythons had one of the best triggers you could find on any revolvers. With the newer Pythons, the triggers are slightly different. They're still as smooth as the original Pythons, however, you can feel slightly more linkage in double action. This does, however, make the Python more drop-safe. The single-action trigger on the Colt Python is absolutely incredible, and it is perfect for accurate shooting. The newer Colt Pythons also have replaceable front sights with adjustable rear sights, which are very easy to use. Number 2. Ruger GP100. The Ruger GP100 was introduced in 1985 when most police officers carried revolvers. It is an excellent revolver that is built like a tank and can even handle the most powerful .357 Magnum loads. The GP101 has been produced in a wide range of calibers, including 44 Special, .357 Magnum, 38 Special, 10mm Auto, and even 22 LR. The .357 Magnum version is the most popular to this day, and it has a capacity of 6 rounds. Over the years, the GP100 has been made with different barrel lengths, sights, and finishes. One of the best things about the GP100 is its extremely solid and strong action. The design of the GP100 was inspired by the Ruger Redhawk, and it uses a unique crane design where it is locked into the frame by the cylinder lock at the bottom of the crane opening instead of one in front of the extractor plunger like many other revolvers of the time. The double-action trigger on this revolver is extremely smooth and easy to shoot. You can also shoot it in single action, and the single action trigger is very short and crisp. Most GP100s today have adjustable sights, however, you can also find models with fixed sights. Overall, the GP100 is an excellent revolver, perfect for everyday use. Number 1. Chiappa Rhino. Lastly, we can't complete this list without mentioning the Chiappa Rhino. This is perhaps the most innovative modern revolver in the world right now and looks and shoots amazingly. Chiappa is an Italian company, and when they introduced the innovative and futuristic Rhino into the US market, we just loved it. What this revolver does is that instead of lining the barrel with the top of the cylinder, it lines up with the bottom. This results in a very low bore axis and an extremely controllable pistol. The Rhino has a lightweight frame, which is CNC machined from a solid block of high-tensile aluminum alloy. It has an incredible design and a unique grip angle, which helps with recoil control. The Rhino uses a false external hammer, which allows you to cock the revolver in and out of single-action mode. However, the actual hammer that works the double-action mechanism is on the inside. Being a futuristic revolver, the Chiappa Rhino also features a set of adjustable fiber optic front and rear sights, which make target acquisition very easy. The trigger on the Rhino is also incredible, and it is very smooth, even in double action. The Chiappa Rhino comes in multiple calibers. Though the .357 Magnum is the most common, you can also find these revolvers chambered in 9mm and 40 S&W. The Rhino is also available in multiple barrel lengths, from 2 inches up to 6 inches. Overall, it is an excellent revolver that brings some much-needed evolution to revolvers. It is really fun to shoot and has a really cool appearance as well.